Hello, my little lovebirds. TonyaTko here, and I'm sure you can tell from my face that I am none too pleased. You guys said that you wanted to get updates on what was going on, or on my travel adventures. So I'm doing this really quick update right now. I didn't sleep well last night, and also I'm experiencing a tremendous amount of, I'd say, internal turmoil. I don't know, it's just really bothering me. And it's like I keep trying to tell myself, oh, at least you're all right, at least you're okay, blah blah blah. But I was just sitting here thinking because I did a quick first take, and it was just too negative. So this is take number two, and I'm trying to be more positive, crack a smile or something. But yesterday I was robbed. Well, let me not say robbed. Well, I was robbed, but not violently. I was pickpocketed in a very strange and bizarre way. And I'm from New York, and I know and understand, crowds, pickpockets, etc. And the basic motif is to create a diversion, some sort of distraction. So whenever I see a crowd of people gathered and it's loud, etc., I move myself away from there and I go about my business because I'm very well aware of pickpockets, etc. Some of you have been saying that I should write a book, and I'm thinking that that might be a good idea because because I've been to 26 countries, but 4 continents, countless cities, and I've seen and experienced a lot of different things. This is the first time that I've ever been robbed slash pickpocketed. And I'll tell you guys really quick how it happened because I want to be able to upload this video, and it takes about 8 hours to upload a video here because the internet connection is very slow. Yesterday, I was in a kind of down mood anyway. I'm kind of getting beleaguered of the Dominican Republic. Well, I'm reporting in live right now from Santo Domingo, República Dominicana, and I have been under a tremendous amount of emotional duress. Some of you guys have been like, oh, do more videos, etc. And I've been wanting to capture some footage for you guys, and that's what I was actually out yesterday doing, trying to capture some footage. And as you guys know, I have my big camera here, and I have a small little Kodak point and shoot. And so and honestly, I would love to have gotten some footage for you guys, etc. But it's not safe here. I'll say that much. And I've been to poor countries before, and I've been to places where the currency is much worse than the currency here. Actually, the exchange rate is not really bad, and I've been to places where people financially have less than the people here. But I've noticed that there's a weird sort of culture here. There was a person that I was writing to, because I did that video the other day about actually, this has been just a kind of bumpy vacation altogether. First, I came in on the 2nd. My birthday was on the 4th. I had all that drama. Then I sprained my ankle on the 8th. Um, then just one thing after another. So I'm just really kind of like ready to bounce. And yesterday I was really just really forlorn, really just tired, and just like because here you have to be on guard. But anyway, so I did that video about my experience, and I was finally able to upload that. Part of the another reason why I haven't really done many videos, because I've been here 3 weeks and I probably have done 2 videos or so. Part of the reason that I'm not doing videos is because you constantly have to be like, you constantly have to be on guard. You constantly have to be looking over your shoulder. You don't have a break. You don't have. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. So nonetheless, I would say I was in a back and forth discussion with a person who was talking about, oh, how this can happen anywhere, the thing that happened with the guy with the whole nightmare situation. Look for the link around here because I probably won't be around when this uploads for you guys to be able to click through because I'm not taking my computer with me. I'm actually at my old hotel right now, and I'm leaving my computer here because there's so many things that I'd like to talk with you guys about. Anyway, and so I was saying that this sort of thing doesn't happen anywhere. Every different cities, there's a different culture to every city. Like, I'm from New York and I understand the culture of New York very well. There's a different culture in Miami, San Antonio, Maine, Nantucket, the Hamptons. There's a different culture in Hawaii, Alaska. In Nevis, there's a different culture, and even right across the water, there's a different culture in St. Kitts, which has a different culture to Antigua, and many different places that you go through all around the world. Cairo, even in Egypt, there's a different culture. In Alexandria, there's a different culture. In Nueva, and here in the Dominican Republic in Santo Domingo, well, listen, I think this is part of the reason that I'm feeling under duress because there is a sort of, how do I put this? Now, I will say, I can't say that the people in Nevis have more money than the people here, but there's a sort of emotional, spiritual, and personal discontent here in the Dominican Republic. It's like, okay, you you have your food, you have your shelter, you excuse me, hold on. You have your needs met, and whereas the people in Nevis are very, content with, with the joys of living and being where they are, I find that the people here are not only have a sense of missing out on what they have, but of wanting to get what you have. And it's there's a it's and I don't want to generalize, and this is part of the reason that I did this second take of the video because I don't want to be stereotypical or mean to anyone, but there are I really don't know. There's some people who are, how do I put this? And I really want, I don't even want this to be a 5 minute video, and now it's a 7 minute video. And it's 8:30 in the morning, or 8:23. There's this feeling in the air here that what I have is not enough. So I'm going to use you to make what you have mine. And you see this from the men, you see this from the women. You see very, 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 very young women using what they got to get what they want, engaging in these tremendously large age gap relationships, you know, um, where they will, I don't know, get some older man to have them come up in the world or whatever. And then the men, same thing. And it's like, I feel like as a tourist here, I'm kind of like, because this is part of the reason I couldn't sleep last night, and I was in a horrible hotel last night too. I tried to take pictures of it for you guys, but my camera battery died, and I never even got to the pickpocket story. Um, and that whole situation with the guy who picked me up and how he was trying to use me and stuff like that, that actually is not the first time. It's like every single person that I've met here has had some sort of agenda. I don't want to say every single person that I've met. I don't want to say that. The people who have attempted a friendship or associateship have done so under the guise of trying to get what they can, trying to see if they can. I'll give you guys more details. I'm not in an area where I can talk freely, but when I get back to America, hopefully I'll be in a better mood and I'll be able to be, less negative. But some of you said I should write a book, but I think that I should write a book, and I was thinking about writing the book in such a way that I tell my story, and then I don't know, I'll give you guys a quiz on what were some of the things I did wrong and what were some of the things I did right, and then explain to you how you can avoid getting in that situation, because there's so many things. Like yesterday could have been avoided. I'll tell you guys real quick what happened. Oh God, 10 minutes, unbelievable. So yesterday I went to go get on in. I went to go. I was just tired of being like here, like this, like oh. So I wanted to go to a to a nicer part of town, have a nice meal, just feel free or whatever. And I figured it would be nice to be among the people for a moment. And I was trying to capture some footage for you guys, etc. And and so, and I'm not saying I shouldn't have done that, but anyway, it happened. So anyway, so I get inside this public car, and well, you remember I did that video footage of the 5 minutes of traffic. Anyway, so they're here. There are these public buses that carry people from one end to another, and then they're also like, and then they're also, you can't, the light is too bright for you to see somebody standing there. So anyway, so there's also these public taxis where you share the cab ride and everybody pays a portion of the cab and you go where you're going. Um, so I was waiting for a bus because I wanted to get on a bus to go where I was going, but the bus was not coming. It was taking a really long time. It was like more than half an hour. So I decided to get inside of a shared taxi that said it was going that way. The taxi was already full, and that should have been issue number one. There was somebody already in the front seat. So I got into the front seat because the guy moved over and he's like, "Oh, get in, whatever." So I was like, it's just right up the road anyway. So I got in, and so the guy does something really weird. I see him. He reaches down and he pushes the seat back, right, and then the woman behind us start to scream. And so I'm like, what on earth? So he's like reaching down, trying to pull the seat back up and all this other stuff. And it was like so weird. Like the whole situation was so weird. And it was like all of a sudden he was like all over me trying to lift the back end of the thing up and all this other stuff. And the driver was screaming and everybody in the car was just being so loud. And I don't know if this was a public taxi or if this was a traveling band of thieves. I really don't know. But it was just so bizarre. And so like the guy that was sitting next to me had this parcel. It was like a pillow, right? It was like about the size of a pillow wrapped in this blue plastic bag or whatever. And he was like trying to reach and all this other stuff. And they were like, it was like they were all over me. I was like, I really wanted to get out the car, and so they stopped the car and they were like, oh, um, it was just so bizarre. I'll tell you guys more about the story. I really want to end this, but to make a long story short, what the guy did was he used his parcel to kind of like cover me, and I guess he was using one hand to try to lift the back of the seat up and use the other hand to dig around inside my purse. They got my BlackBerry and my spending cash, etc. And I mean, the violation of it, and how I was a victim to it. When I knew the whole situation was weird, I was like, why did he push the seat back on this woman? Why is he pretending like we can't pull the seat up? And the whole situation was just so overwhelming, and just it was just so much. And I should have jumped out. I should have gotten out of the car for real. I should have. It would have been. I would have rather have just paid for my own taxi at $3 rather than lose my BlackBerry, because on a BlackBerry, because I took so many photos here, etc., and so many video clips, and the memory card of the BlackBerry is more valuable than the BlackBerry itself. So my memory card is gone with all of my photos, family photos, stuff that I took in New York, because I haven't been able to sync my BlackBerry, and this is part of the reason I was going to get a new phone anyway. So I mean, it's like the phone is not. I don't really care about the phone. It's the whole violation of it, and the whole. I'm here visiting in another country, and instead of being seen, welcomed or seen with welcomed eyes or whatever. I'm seen as like a host, from these parasitic personas. And it's like, so I was like, last night I couldn't sleep. I just had this vision of being like a big sack of blood with all these mosquitoes and parasites lunging onto me, trying to suck me dry. And it's like, and I wanted to, I mean, I don't, part of me doesn't even care that all of the photos of the Dominican Republic are gone, because there's a part of me that doesn't even want to promote the place in any way, shape, or form. I've been a lot of places, 26 countries, and this has been by far the worst, the absolute worst. And I don't know, I'm ready to go. I'm really ready to go. The whole fake friend with the gun, and the whole spraining of the ankle, and the whole everything. There's even more to it. Somebody in unbelievable. I wish I could tell you guys more stories. Like the people here have really been on it, like on it, trying to see what they could get out of your girl. And the thing is that I've been really careful. I've been really careful with keeping myself, like this. And then, I got inside of a car and I got comfortable. I'm gonna tell you guys about some things that you can do to avoid that sort of thing. Please don't pressure me for any more videos. I'm leaving here. And today is Sunday. I'm leaving here in 2 days. I won't have enough time to do the travel tips video before I go. I'll try to get you guys something, but please don't. Oh, where's the trap? Don't do that. I'll do more videos when I get back to New York, because I'm ready to really raise up out this piece. You know what I mean? I'm ready to raise up. Anyway, TonyaTko, and I'm out. So come over to my Facebook page. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter. That's TonyaTko. Tonya what? With an O. Peace.